I want to welcome you guys to the Moms Making Money Show. I have a special guest for you guys today. I have Grace Vasquez, and she is a virtual money coach. And today we're going to talk to her a little bit about her business. I'm going to learn a little bit about what she does, and we're also going to learn a little bit more about anything that she overcame to get to this point. All of the fears, all of the self-doubt, any outside chatter that may have originally held her back. We're going to, uncover all of that stuff and see how she got to where she is today. So Grace, I'm going to turn it over to you if you want to tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started in this, virtual money coaching business of yours.
All right, so yes, my name is Grace. Let me start off by saying I have two children. I have my daughter who's about to be 4 next Friday, and she reminds me every single day. And then my son who is 2, who turned 2 in March. My story really starts off with being pregnant with my daughter. At that point, I was, how old was I? About 33, I believe. And one of my good friends told me about Dave Ramsey's program. And I never heard of this guy. I was like, okay, I'll read it. And the good thing about it was that it's a very easy read. So if you get any of his books, they're amazing and very, very easy. Mm-hmm. And my friend and I were talking about our finances, and, we're in our early 30s. I'm about to have a baby, and I have 2 masters. I think she has 1 or maybe 2. And we're kind of looking at each other like, okay, we have all this education, but we have no money. So I started reading her book, and then found out I was pregnant. And then that's really when it dawned on me that I had no savings. I'm 33. I work as a high school counselor, and I have 2 masters, and yet I have no money in my account. And that's when you really start to think like, okay, there's a baby coming in about 9 months. What am I, how is this baby going to survive? Because you are their provider. So I started doing the Dave Ramsey program. We actually went to Financial Peace University with her father, and we liked the whole program. I started getting my baby step 1, which is your $1,000. She came. We had money saved up. Then things went kind of downhill. I took about 6 weeks, I think. No, I'm sorry. I took 12 weeks maternity leave because I had her in the summer, and just, I'm like, well, why not? I think I have enough money saved up. And then one day I looked into my account, and I realized I didn't have any money whatsoever. And I think this is really where my journey began, as just getting my stuff together. Because I couldn't breastfeed her for whatever reason. I wasn't producing any milk. So of course we have to buy formula. Now, if any of you have kids, you know how expensive formula is just for a tub, and hers was the organic kind. So it was like $35 a can, right? And I looked at my account. I had no money. Literally, I had no money. I'm not even joking with you guys. I had no money. And she didn't, I think she had like 1 more bottle that I can give her. And I'm crying, hormones, you get emotional, and you're like, oh my God. And something said to me, go into her closet and see what you can return to Baby R Us, I know they just closed, so that's sad. I know. And I just remembered, I remembered when I did my baby registry through them, they said, you have up to a year to return anything. And I'm like, okay. So then I go and I said, okay, I don't need this. Everything was brand new, but I didn't need it. Now I knew what the need and the want was. She didn't need the little wipey warmers because, she didn't need it. It's cute to have, but she didn't need it. It was a brand new box. So I'm like, okay, I'll put that in the box. And I think I put a few other things in a bag, and I said, okay, worst case scenario, they're gonna say you can't have anything back, and then we're back at square one. So I put her in her little baby carrier, drove all the way to Baby R Us, crying, like literally crying, because I had no money, And I'm like, how can I have 2 masters, be a counselor, have no money, be broke, and yet my child's in the backseat, like, I'm gonna get hungry soon. You know what I mean? And it's like that terrifying feeling as a mother, right? It's like, how am I going to give her anything? Like, she's depending on me. So, you know, and I had my makeup. My makeup is like spraying down my eyeliner because, you know, that's all I wear. And I looked in the mirror, in a rear view mirror, I remember, and I said, this will never happen again. Never. It's never going to happen again. And I'm talking to her, and she's probably like, okay, you know, she's like, she's a month old, you know? And I said, okay, get it together. So I grabbed her, put her in the cart, and then we go inside the store. And I tell the lady, I said, okay, I want to return these. And she's like, okay, let me check. Everything's in your baby register. Do you just want a gift card? And she's like, I'm like, sure, okay, good. And she's like, you can go ahead and buy whatever you want. I'm like, I can buy anything I want. I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, can I buy formula with this? She's like, yeah, you can buy whatever you want. So at that point, I felt so like relieved, right? So I go get the formula. And ever since then, I said, never again am I going to have that feeling of not having even $30 to buy my daughter a formula. And I've never done that again, you know, praise God and knock on wood and everything. I saved up my money. After that, I went back to work, saved up my money, did my $1,000 emergency fund, and continued paying off my debt. So this is where I started helping people. Dave Ramsey talks specifically. Can you hear my kids? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You might be able to hear mine, so it's all good.
Okay, I was like, okay, can you hear mine? Okay. So at that point, I started. He talks about creating budgets, and I've never heard of a budget before. You know, here I'm a 33-year-old, you know, college graduate with like masters, 2 masters, a bachelor's, and nobody ever teaches you this stuff.
Right.
So I did like the budget sheet he gave, but it was just, you know, I get paid twice a month because I'm also a full-time high school counselor. So it really wasn't working with me and all these other extra stuff. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like the extra stuff. I like, because if I cross it off, it's like 2 lines, and I'm like, no. So I created my own planner, my own monthly planner, where I write, you know, because I get paid twice a month, you know, on this check, on this sheet, this is what I'm going to pay, and this sheet. So I created my own just to make it easier and to stay on top with my budgets. And that's also where one of my courses, which I'm kind of working on, it came about. And that at that point also started to create my Facebook group, just to give women hope, number one, ideas. And that if I had literally $0 in my account, then you having $100 is better than where I started, right? And then about 2 years ago, I had my son. So, you know, through budgeting, you know, it's not always perfect. And that's what I really want to convey to people. It doesn't have to be perfect every month, but as long as you're tracking it, and then you do better than next month. When people start just to kind of let it go by its side and not paying attention to where your money is, that's, I think, where people kind of forget about it. And it kind of has to be a priority. You know what I mean? And we talk about selling stuff on our group. You know, we have so much stuff in our house. I mean, I think everybody that you can just put it on Facebook. You can just put it on Facebook Marketplace, or you have OfferUp, and you just sell the stuff that you have to create your first $1,000. The one thing I'm going to say with that is that because I am a mom of 2 and insurance purposes and everything, you know, just to go to the hospital with my insurance, you know, as an emergency, it's $400. Yeah, that's money. So if I only have $1,000 and you're taking away, you know, because I have to go, hope it doesn't happen, I'm down to $600 to my name. So to me, I have a little bit more than $1,000 because that's where I feel comfortable. And that's what I tell people. Do what you feels comfortable to you. If $1,000 feels comfortable, fine. If a little bit more, that's fine too. So that's where my journey really started. And that, like you said, that negative chat, like that's where that whole thing, wait, you're educated, you have all these degrees, but you have no money. So I kind of had to bypass that. Okay, you know what? Fine. I don't have all that money. But it's never late to learn. You have YouTube, you have books, you have people on Facebook doing groups, you know, doing lives that talk about it. What excuse do you have now not to get your stuff together? That's my thing. So
yeah, exactly. And that's such a powerful story. Like I'm like getting like all like teary over here because that's so, yeah, maybe it's just a mom thing. I don't know. Like
I think it's a mom thing because moms relate to it.
yeah, because when you're in that, it kind of like even like when your kids are sick and there's just absolute, and like you call the doctor and they're like, hey, you're being like a crazy person, like it's fine, blah blah blah. And you're like, you don't understand, they're sick and there's nothing I can do, and and so it's like to like think about like being like putting yourself in, like me putting myself in your shoes. Like for me, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even imagine that. Like, and I had a similar story to that once too. After I went back to work with my son, he kind of had weaned himself off of nursing at like right around like 4 months or so. So I was ordering in his formula, and I ordered it from Germany. And so I was like, oh, I've got enough to get through, blah, blah, blah. Well, it came down to the point. It was like almost the exact same situation as you, that I had one bottle left. I'm like, oh my God. So I went out and I bought a different kind, and he wouldn't take it, because it was the organic kind of, he just wouldn't take it. He was like, yeah, nope. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, what if this stuff doesn't show up till tomorrow? Because it was like the middle of the day.
Oh yeah. And yeah.
Luckily, I don't know, by the grace of God, the universe, whatever it is that people believe in, it showed up like on my doorstep in the mail that day. Like, cause I'd been tracking it and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of getting low. And it just got held up, international stuff, whatever. And I was like, oh my God. And so, yeah, I totally feel you there, because I didn't know what I was going to do. He wasn't going to take anything else. And, so I was just like, oh man, and he wasn't quite old enough for like solid foods, and he still needed it. So I was just like, oh no. So I totally get where you're coming from on that. And it's like a scary thing, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, because you're like, all right, well, I mean, we're just going to have to figure it out. We'll get through it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's like, it's a hard situation. And I feel like a lot of people, they think about, like, I want to be debt free, but they don't necessarily know the steps to take. And I love Dave Ramsey. For those of you who are like me, I listen to the audiobooks, because then I'm like a super multitasker. But even back when I had my corporate job, I would listen to audiobooks on my commute, because it was 45 minutes each way. So I could bust through an audiobook in like 2 days. But yeah, Dave Ramsey stuff is so good. But I mean, even outside of, all the self-talk that you had for yourself during that time, did you ever experience any point in time when you were like, okay, so I'm going to start this new business, and then you were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe someone told you like something like that made you doubt that you should be starting this company of yours?
I don't think anybody did, but I think it's more our self-doubt. Like, and I think people always experience, I'm not an expert at this. Who's going to want to buy anything you produce? There's somebody else better who does it better, who has the same product you do, so they're going to buy it off. So it's all these self-doubts, but I really had to talk myself into, you know what, you're right. There's competition everywhere. You mean McDonald's, Burger King, look at them, but they're still thriving. But I also realized, because I listen to a lot of podcasts too, because I drive about 20 minutes to work each way. And I am targeting, I shouldn't say like I'm targeting, but I'm talking to a specific kind of women, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can't speak to everyone. I mean, although we will love to, I don't think maybe a single lady, no kids they could probably relate, but not to the sense where how it is to be a mother, you know what I mean? I mean, if they buy and they want to be my tribe, that's great. But I also have to learn that you have to speak to a specific person. And once you're specific to that person, like I say, I'm very specific to, I like to talk to the Latina, Hispanic community, women, career, specifically the women, Latinas who are educated, are college degrees. Why? Because they know what I'm going through, because they also, wait, I have a college degree. Either A, I'm not using it, or A, you're right. I have a degree, but I don't even know how to budget my checkbook. So that's because they can relate to me, because yeah, you know what? I have bachelor's, one bachelor's and two. Yeah, I have all the degrees and I can totally relate to you. So when I started doing that, I really started to think, okay, these are the people that I want to talk to. When I started to do that self-negative talk to myself, like nobody's gonna buy it. It's like, you know what? I don't even care. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't even matter if nobody buys. I'm still going to keep on doing it because I have to be consistent. Because this is one of the things I think it's a little bit different than Dave Ramsey, again, which I love, is that in my financial planner, I have you write your why, right? And my why has always been, especially now with 2 kids, is my children. My children, I have to support my children. I have to provide for my children. And if I don't put myself out there, I'm sorry, nobody's going to come out here and give me a check and be like, here you go, this is money for your children. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my why has always been my children, whether it's to make, a little bit to a lot. It's my consistency. That's why I stay consistent with what I do, because I'm doing it also for them. Because, as a mom, it's like, okay, what do you want your legacy to be? Why are you doing why you're doing? And I think it's very important for you to always have a why in anything you do, because that's what keeps you pushing you to keep on doing it.
Agreed.
Right.
And I feel like your why is more than just, I had kids, so now I have to have a cause. Your why goes back to that, like, because one of the things I talk to like my clients about is your why is more than just wanting to quit your job. Your why is more than just, even, having kids and wanting more for them. Like, your why always takes you back to that almost like traumatic experience of yours. Like,
yes,
I never want to be in that place again. Like, you have that constant reminder.
Right.
So your why is more than just like, oh, so I had kids, so now I have a why. Like, and you really have to like sometimes like dig deep onto what your why really is. Like, so for you, it's like, my why is never being in that situation. Like, I always want to have enough money to provide them all of their essential needs and never just feel that way again. Right. So I feel like that's like super important too, is really being able to identify like that deep down why, not just the surface level why.
Exactly. I exactly agree with you. Because when you just say, I want it for my kids, it's like, that's not a hard enough why, because they're with you all day long and you see them, but yet you don't do anything about it. You're right. My why goes deep, deep down to where I can feel how I felt, my image. I can see myself in the parking lot of Baby R Us crying with mascara. I mean, not mascara, but eyeliner coming off. And like I said, baby hormones and everything else is going on. I mean, I did not ever want to feel that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't even care if I have I would like to have more, but if I just have 1,000 and you said, just provide their essentials. They don't need these fancy stuff. You need food and a shelter. That's all you need.
Yep. Yeah. And so that's like, I think that was so perfect that you brought up like the why thing, because, it goes to, a lot deeper than just saying like, yeah, I have kids, I want to take care of my kids. Like, everybody wants to take care of their kids. But like, you go back to whatever your why is, like, even like health coaches, I often refer them back to like Dr. X, his story, like, yeah, he's a naturopathic doctor and he wants the world to be healthy, but his why, he got started because his mother got breast cancer and he wanted to help her, and obviously it goes much deeper than that even for him, but it's like that why, and even your why, that it's unshakable. Like, there's nobody who's going to tell you that what you're doing is nonsense or all these things, right? Because you're unshakable in your why. And you'd be like, I don't think so.
Right. Right, exactly. I don't think you've been where I've been.
Yeah. And so I feel like once you have that why and it is totally unshakable, that you're able to deliver your message, one, with more confidence, and two, it's like, I don't care if you don't like why I'm doing this, because my why is bigger than your negative thoughts or your doubt in what I'm doing. So I love that you brought that up. That like, that's been my kind of soapbox thing lately. So
it is. Yeah, and I agree. And then and going just to connect it with the budgeting, when you're doing your budget, my why is my kids, and the story is like, okay, so I need to stick to the budget, or this needs to get paid down. Why? Because we need that money saved. We need to do, you know what I mean? So it really, when you're doing that budget, you're thinking of that greater why, with that extra money. Okay, well, that extra money, yes, it could be put towards saving, or we can do half and half savings and then half to our debt.
Yeah.
Might it take me a little bit longer to pay down debt because I want my savings to be a little bit more? Probably, but at least, and this is what I tell people, at least you're on the track to pay down your debt and doing better. You know what is it, Maya Angelou? When you know better, you do better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Well, and a lot of people don't know. Like I sometimes hear some people say, you know, and a lot of it goes back to our money stories and how we're raised around money and all that stuff. But a lot of people are like, I can't save money to save my life. Like, how many times have you heard that? Like, no matter what I do, I just can't save.
Right. Oh, yeah. I've heard that plenty of times. And the first thing I say is you need to stop saying you can't. Yeah. Because if you keep on saying I can't, then you're not going to. And then end a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to sit here and argue. You need to start changing your vocabulary by saying I'm going to. And the second part is you need to stop spending money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're saying you can't, but yeah, you're like debit card. So, and that's, again, goes back to, okay, if you say you can't save money, how about you write as to why you want to save money? And write it, like you said, very deep. So when you give that debit card, although, you know, Dave Ramsey and I also agree to start using cash, it's harder for you to give the cashier a $20 bill or even a $100 bill because you're like, that's money I need to, you know what I mean? So you need to stop, like you said, that self-negative, like, oh, I can't save money. Well, you can, and these are, you know, I can teach you all these ways to do it, but if you keep on saying you can and you continue using your card or your debit card or credit cards, then it's like, well, how maybe you haven't sunk as to the level as I have.
Right. The reality hasn't really sunk in, like, because you know, you can't want it more than your clients want it. You know, you can't want more for them, I guess, than they want it for themselves. So yeah, that's so true. So I want to talk a little bit, like, tell us a little bit more about specifically what your company does, like what you offer, you know, these women.
So one of the free things I offer is my Facebook group, Budgeting Queens. And I can give you the link later. And then we just post. Yeah, we'll post. I'll find it later. And we just, it's an open group. So you don't have to wait for somebody to approve it. It's just like, I just like to be open and just post it because, you know, the whole waiting thing, you know, it's like, you never know. With my kids, it's like I'm always busy. So it's very open. You can talk about anything. Nothing that's in the group, you know, you don't share pretty much. I post recipes. I post ideas. I go on there live, maybe like once a week right now. I'm trying to up that more. And you hear other women have the same things like, okay, so I'm on baby step 1, I'm on baby step 2, my budgeting, and we try to give each other ideas. And I think when other people are giving you perspectives or other ideas, you're like, oh, okay, so that's number 1. I also do a half hour to an hour consultation just to look over your budgets, just to see, again, because, you know, if we do it by ourselves, we tend to trick ourselves like, oh, I have all this extra money, you know, but when somebody else looks at it, it's not so. And another thing I tell people, and I had to tell myself, debt is just a number. The numbers on my budget, that's just a number. That doesn't define my happiness. That doesn't make me a better person, a more horrible person. And a lot of people, I feel, get attached to that number. They had debt, so I'm a miserable person, or I only have $5 to my name, so that makes me. No, it doesn't. Money is just numbers. It doesn't define you. So I had to keep on telling myself that, and that's what I had to tell the people. Okay, so you're sad you only have $100, but be happy that you have $100 because there's somebody out there that doesn't even have $100.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of, you know, change that perspective. You know, you have more than I ever did, you know, when I started off. So you kind of have to look at the positive. I think people always are stuck looking at the negative. Then you kind of have to change it. So I do the half hour to an hour consultation just to kind of look over your finances. I also have mine's over there, but I also created, like I said, the financial planner that is about 28 pages. What I like is that I have 12 pages of budgeting. that you can start at any time. So if you get it today, you just put, you know, what are we in July? Yeah, July. And you start doing that. And on the bottom, it has a Bible verse. I feel that's essential, especially if you know, a Christian, a God. It's just that reminder that you read it and you're like, oh, okay, you know. So I like that portion. And then a couple of the first pages tells you, you know, write down all your debt. Because again, I think I should have said in the beginning, a lot of people bet their debt. I think I owe $5,000, or I think I owe $10,000. Well, did you write it somewhere? No, I just think. So in the planner you have to write everything you owe, the house, the cars, credit cards, and then you have it there. You're facing the numbers, and a lot of people don't want to do that. But I like having it there, and you kind of track your progress for the month. You also write down all the bills you have to pay, because in addition, you have to pay your utility bills. So I like that it's all in one place. You know what I'm saying? And let me pop around just so you can see, because it's right here. The picture that I have is a little different than this one, but this is essentially what you're going to get. It's a digital product, the front page, and it goes there. All you have to do is hole punch it and put a binder. Get the binder at the dollar store. I mean, it's not that expensive. You know what I mean? And everything is in one place. Everything is here. For myself, I bought a little folder. See what I'm saying? A folder at the door. I think I didn't even buy it. I think somebody gave it to me. Because, you know, we have all those stuff at home, all these office supplies. Right. Right, you know? So you don't even have to go buy anything. There you go. You just print it, hole punch it, and put it there. Because my belief is that all your stuff should be in one place. So when I get bills in the mail, I look at it when it's due, okay? Remember, I only pay bills twice a month. That's it. So when they come in the mail, and I just did this yesterday, I got a bill. Okay, this is due next paycheck. I put it in there, put it in here, and that's it. And I forget about it. That's it. I'm not thinking about bills until I pay bills. And I think people are too stuck on saying, I don't have the money this month. I don't have the money this paycheck or this. I'm not worrying about it. That's net energy I can use in something else. It goes there. You're going to get paid on the 27th of July. That's it. We're done. You know what I mean? I had to tell myself that because before I was, okay, so this bill is due this day, but I don't get paid to that day. And what am I going to do until that? It's like, they're not calling you yet. Right? So why do you have to waste that energy, you know? And I would be in tears and crying. And so you get paid twice a month. That's it. And when I get paid, I look at the bills and I take out the ones that are supposed to be paid for that month. We pay it. And then we shred it, and then we move on, and that's it. I mean, you know,
I like that.
Why worry? Why worry about something that's not even going to happen yet?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it, because then you're not like in that constant state of like worry and, you know, stress and attracting all that negative energy to you because you're always stuck thinking about it. We've got a couple girls saying hi, Adrian, Hilda, Maricela. Hi, guys. You guys, if you guys have any questions right now for Grace, feel free to pop those in and we'll get those answered for you. But hello to all of you guys. Thank you for saying hi. What, Grace, like if you could give somebody one tip, just one tip on how to start out saving, like what would that one tip be?
To start saving, I mean, I just want to say, start today. You know, even if it's, well, first I want you to create your budget. That's it. And whatever money you have left over, even if it's $20, put it away, you know, because, you know, we're going to be honest here. Some people don't make that much money, so they can't save $1,000 right away. So even if it's a $20, put it away, leave it alone. That's it. You know, just little by little, because, you know, I'm sure you've read The Compound Effect, right? I think it's Darren, right? Darren Hardy?
Hardy.
Or is that? I think so.
Yeah.
The Compound Effect. Yeah, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Everything, when you do stuff little by little, it results in something greater, right? So if you just put a check, whatever your number is, it's going to add up, and just being consistent with it. You know, one of the things I like, although some people like to go see their money, I like Ally Bank. and they're pretty easy to set up online. So if anybody wants to do that, go ahead. It's easy to set up, and it's so easy to transfer money. And I have an Ally account too, and you forget about it.
Yeah.
Because I think I got their debit card, but I shredded it because I'm like, I'm not going to, because I don't even want to be tempted to use it.
Right.
Oh, I have money here. No, I'll log into it. Every time I get paid, this is another thing. Every time I get paid, I transfer between $25 to $50. It's not a lot to you, but it's adding up.
Yeah.
12 months, it's going to add up. So the Ally account is pretty easy to set up. You transfer your money. You just have to have your routing number from your other accounts, Bank of America, Chase, whatever. And every month you transfer. The money's there for you in case of an emergency, and it's pretty easy to transfer. I think they take up to 24 hours to 3 days. I don't know, but it's there. That's another great tip.
I do something similar. I closed out all of my, and this is something I teach like my mastermind girlies. I closed out my regular savings accounts that were like tied to my checking account. And I actually use, I use Capital One, their savings account, because it's like a money market account, and the interest rate, like the return is so much higher. Instead of getting back so say if you have, say $10,000, instead of getting back 6 cents for that, you get $6, right?
Yeah.
But the main reason I did it is I'm like, okay, it's out of sight, out of mind, and it's earning a little bit more money over there. But same thing too, it takes 2 business days to transfer it back if you end up needing it for something. So
yeah, and I think Ally does the same thing.
Yeah,
like a percentage a little bit higher, which is like, and you're right. Like when I get those statements, when I used to get the statements from the savings, you made 3 cents. I'm like, 3 cents in a quarter.
Yep. Well, and the cool thing too is like for me, like I don't have a debit card or anything, so it's like out of sight, out of mind. I'm not spending that money unless it's a mindful transfer. Like, okay, I'm specifically saving up this money for this thing, and then I can transfer it back. I know about it in advance or whatever. But in the meantime, it's just over there, like hanging out, collecting a little bit more interest than it would if it was sitting in my other bank account. And it's not something I see every time I log into my bank either. So I'm like, okay, I have this much money in my bank account, and then I kind of forget about that other stuff.
Yeah, you kind of have to survive off of that money, because that money is really, I always say that money is for emergencies, but I agree with what you said. And that's what I tell one of the other tips I say. Do not have your savings and checking in the same account, in the same bank. Don't. Because you know how nowadays, especially nowadays with your cell phones, it's so easy to transfer money.
Mm-hmm.
And that money was to save for, my emergency. Oh, but I really like those shoes. That's not an emergency, but, let's be honest, people do that. I'll just transfer. So I always say, do not have them in the same account. And if possible, have one through a credit union and one through just like a regular bank. Just so they can't even connect to each other.
Right. Yeah. And even still, it's kind of like, if you have to wait 2 days, say, to get the money, then it makes you rethink that purchase. Is it really necessary? Do I really need it? Like, or if it's something that you specifically saved up for, then like, okay, so I know it's going to take 2 days, and that's no big deal.
Right. Exactly. So if you save for, like you said, and like with Ally, for an example, I have Ally for my Christmas fund and my registration truck. They're both in December, but I did the calculations of how much I need for both, and so that's how much I transfer each paycheck. So
nice.
Like I know that my registration and truck is December, whatever the month of December, because you can do it anytime. So when I go to the bank, when I go to pay, I'll know to transfer that money to my, my other account, and it'll be there in 2 days. So then in those second, third day, then I'll go and pay for it because I saved for that money. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I never even thought about that, especially here in California. They just restructured our registration rates, and now they're all higher. It's super awesome.
Yeah, well, in Vegas, it's for my truck. I'm going to be honest, it's $560.
Yeah,
and people, let's be honest, people don't have money if they're not saving for it. They're waiting for their paycheck to get it. It's like, but you already knew like Dave Ramsey says, Christmas was in December. You knew your car registration is due every year on the same month. Yep. Why didn't you save money for that? So yeah.
No, that's a great thing. Oh, we've got a comment here. So Maricela says, my credit union offers a good return on savings for a money market. Yep. But I also have my checking with the same bank, which gives me access to my check 2 to 3 days before getting paid. Should I still open a savings account with a different account knowing the return is not great? I would shop around and find one. This is my opinion. You can give yours, Grace. I would shop around and find one that, like Capital One or Allied, that gives you at least as good of a return, if not better.
Yeah, that would be the same thing. Like you said, Ally or the Capital One, because they're separated, you tend to, like I said, and maybe you can be, what was that, Maricela? Maybe you can tell us how many times you transfer from your saving to your checking just because the money was there. That's what we're trying to avoid, for you to transfer money. But yeah, like an Ally or a Capital One they probably do offer a better rate than what your bank offers. And if not, let's just say if they don't, I know you can do it, because we did it with my husband. I know that they have to do something in the computer where you're not able to transfer money from your checking to your savings. Because we did that with my husband once when we were trying to save money together. He had his checking account. I know he had his checking account, and then we combined a savings account under his name, but we were both, able to get access to that. And I told the lady, I said, okay, well, I don't want him to transfer money from this savings to that account. She's like, oh, not a problem. I'll just, type it in or do something to the system. And he was never able to transfer that money there. So if they can do that and stop you from transferring money, I mean, if they do offer a higher rate, then you can do that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. And that's kind of I've never heard of anybody getting access to their check 2 to 3 days before it comes in. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I get mine. I mean, not that ahead. I get mine like maybe the night before. Like if I get paid, I always get paid on the 10th and the 25th. So if it falls, let's say Monday, or for example, Monday's going to be the 9th, and Tuesday's going to be the 10th. I'll have access to my money Monday at 7:30 at night, but not 2 to 3 days.
And is that just like a direct deposit thing, because you get a direct deposit so they see it coming through, or?
Mine's a direct deposit through the same bank for the last 12 years where I've been working, and it's the bank of the teachers, the school district. So with us, we usually see it about the night before at 7:30 at night, where other banks like Chase or Bank of America, they won't release those funds till midnight or the actual payday.
Right.
So it depends on who you go with. I hope that helps, Maricela. I hope that helps.
You guys, do we have any other questions?
Don't be shy to talk about money. And that's another thing I always say too. Like I said, money is just money. It's not like, don't give it like negative, positive energy. It's great to make it. It's great to have it, but don't let it control you. And, I can talk about money and like whatever.
Okay. She says, yes, she has direct deposit. So that makes sense. I was thinking,
yeah,
on earth.
Yeah, that's why she gets money sooner, because it's direct deposit. Yeah,
Oh.
I get it a day. Well, a couple hours ahead like everybody else, but not
Yeah.
daily.
And we're the opposite. Like with my husband's check, it comes in like the day after payday. So it's super funny, but it's random.
Yeah, they always say it depends on your bank.
Mm-hmm.
That depends on your bank.
Which is funny because, we've had it both ways. With different companies, it's come in like right on time, and this one it comes in the day after. So it's sort of weird.
Look, as long as it comes in, that's all I care.
Yes. And we've adjusted that. Okay, instead of Thursday, it's Friday. So it's, for us, it's not that big of a deal. Anything else, you guys? Grace, why don't you tell them a couple of different ways that they can reach you? I know we'll put the link to the Facebook group in here in the comments later. But what are a few ways that if some of these girls want to, reach out and get kind of like a money makeover with you, what's the best way for them to contact you?
So I can also give you my link. Probably the easiest way is always Facebook, messaging me. That's the easiest way. We'll post a link to Budgeted Queens in a second. And then I also have my website, financeswithgrace.com. You can read different things, my blogs that I talk about. because I like to be honest and open, and if I'm going through it, I know other people are going through it. Are there any apps you guys use for budgeting? Maricela, I'm going to be honest, just because I am. I don't, and I think I told you why. Oh, that one. I don't use any apps because I only pay my bills twice a month, and it's all written here, and that's it. One of the categories that I have towards the bottom is, I know you probably heard of it, like I call it fun money. So whether it's taking the kids, movies or whatever, and if that's all the cash I have, and that's it till next time, you know what I mean? So I don't use any other apps for budgeting because I have my own financial planner that just to get to something else, it's like doing it, being redundant to me. But I know everydollar.com that Dave Ramsey recommends. That's a good one. I tried it. There's a free version and the paid version. But again, for me doing it twice, it's like, we ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I don't use an app either. I just use a good old-fashioned spreadsheet for my stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, you can also, like I said, you can go to my website, financeswithgrace.com. You can find the planner there. You can read a couple of my blogs that I talk about different kind of savings. When you and your husband or your significant other don't see eye to eye with finances, that's another great blog that I wrote, because my husband and I haven't always seen each other with finances. And just the different products I recommend. But
Perfect. Okay, we've got another one here from Jada. I hope that's how it's, I always say names wrong, so hopefully that's right. Grace, are your bills automatically drafted from your account twice a month?
Okay, great question. No, they're not. This is why. I don't like other people having access to my account. And by other people, I mean other companies, because I don't need them to have a glitch in their system. And instead of, taking $30, they take $300. That's just me personally. That's just me. I know people who have them withdrawn, but I like to control my money. And when I get paid on my 10th or my 25th, and I say, okay, this is how much you're going to get paid. And I go, I go to my, I go online. You can also, I try to do it on my phone, but it's just, I need to see all the money there. So I'll go online and pay it. And I put bill pay and I add their information, but I do it myself. I don't like other people. And I think Dave Ramsey talks about that too. That's a personal choice, but I don't know. I don't like other, I'm going to be honest. The only place or company that has it is my student loans, because I get a 0.5% reduce in interest. Nice. So if I'm gonna pay student loans like till I die, hopefully not. But if I can save that for 0.5% interest, that's the only company that has it, and they take it only on the 27th for my amount, but nothing else. No, I do it myself because I trust me. I don't trust other companies. I don't know. People might be different, but that's what I do.
What about for your savings? Like, so say that you're going to say, like, we'll just say $20, right? It's in your budget. You can comfortably transfer $20. Do you have it set up that you can automatically transfer that $20? Because that's how I have mine. I'm like, okay, I know this is how much I want to put into savings every week or whatever, and then I can always add more later. Do you do it that way for your Allied, or you manually transfer for that?
So I have two savings. The first one is where I have my through another union, and with that one I actually, because they're credit unions, I don't think banks ever connect with each other, so that one I actually go withdraw from the one credit union and put in for another one. But they're all close, so it doesn't matter. But now that I have that one full and set with Ally, I might have to look up on that, because I actually have to transfer it through their app. Okay. And that, like I said, it takes to transfer it. I think it takes about 2 to 3 days for the full transfer. And they'll tell you, you started today, you'll be there by Wednesday. But that's something good. I might want to look at it, so they can, if I already know I'm going to get paid on the 10 and the 25th, if they can just grab it instead of me going there. But that's a good question. But no, I do it myself.
Okay, a couple more questions here. What if I have 2 credit cards with high interest rates that are maxed out? Should I get a personal loan to pay them with a lower rate, or should I just be paying them monthly?
So Dave Ramsey would say, don't take out a personal loan. Just no. No, I would just, me honestly, because I'm in the same predicament, I'm in the same situation. Just keep paying them down monthly. And the more you just don't do monthly, the minimum. If you have extra money, do more. But also do the one that has the higher amount. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the lower amount first. So let's say one is at 3,000 and the other one is at 2,500. Do the one at 2,500 first. So do max on both. Whenever you have extra, do more at the 2,500 one. And just stop using them, put them away, cut them up, and then go from there. But I wouldn't personally. I've never taken out a loan to pay off my credit cards. I just stop using them and start paying them off.
And I know just from having experience working really closely with a banker, they may not approve you for a loan because your credit cards are currently at a maxed out state.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then even with people who, this is what I don't get, but whatever. People who also take out home equity lines of credits to pay down, but then you're gonna get denied, because they see and they're like, oh, you know all this money? No, you can't. So no, I will just pay, like I said, and I said this in the beginning. Yes, yeah, Dave Ramsey, I love him. I love his advice. He's very honest. Like I said, go in your garage, go inside your house. What can you sell? You honestly don't need all that stuff in your house. Go on Facebook Market, offer up, start seeing what you can sell. A lot of people out there, like I'm gonna get myself out there. And I'm going to tell you, so I have a nice backyard, but I refuse to buy furniture for full price because it's so expensive. Number one, it's so expensive, So I bought a grill for $15 on Facebook Market. Yes.
Wow.
All I had to do, I come home and clean it and it was perfect. And I bought a patio table with an umbrella. She gave me the umbrella, not gave me, but it's an umbrella, 3 chairs for $70.
And that's how much the umbrella would cost.
I know, trust me. This is my logic thinking. I'll go price them out at the stores. Okay, I'm gonna go Big Lots, Walmart, whatever, see how much they are. If I can find it on Facebook cheaper, I'll buy it. But if the newer one at the store is a little bit cheaper, and then Facebook, some people on Facebook try to sell it for too much, then no, I'll just go buy a nicer, newer one. But the tables here in Vegas, I don't know about anywhere else, they're expensive, $300, $400, $500. No. So it's $65 for my nice chair, $15 for the grill, and I pay $10 for like a little baby slide for my kids. There you go. People are out there willing to buy what you have because either A, they don't have money, or they're budgeting like myself, and I'm not going to spend that kind of money, but I still want to decorate, my backyard.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, some people, maybe they're moving and they can't take all of their stuff or whatever. So that's great advice. That's awesome. All right, you guys. This has been really, really productive. I'm so glad that we had such good questions and such great advice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Grace, for popping on, and thank all of you guys for joining us and participating in this. This has been really great. Make sure that you guys hop in and reach out to Grace and take advantage of her her free offerings and her Facebook group. We're going to go ahead and put the direct link into her Facebook group in here as soon as we wrap up. And make sure that you guys connect with her because she's a great resource to get your guys's, to become financially free essentially, and get to that place that you feel like you have a little bit more wiggle room in your financial life. Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I know we scheduled this a while back, and I'm like, oh, it's already. I know. But yeah, so I always like talking about money. I have no problem. Like I said, don't get attached to it. And I know you've seen the little meme, not even a meme, the saying, we weren't just born to pay bills and die. You know what I mean? Yeah. And most of us, we have kids. We are really meant to be present and enjoy kids and not be stuck just to paying bills. I mean, you're going to have your utilities, but the faster you can pay off your debt, more money you're going to save up. I really wish, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to say the same thing, maybe you too, I don't know. I really wish I would have learned about money budgeting at an earlier age in my life, because then I wouldn't be in the situation. But then at the same time, is if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be here. So
Agreed. And, a lot of it too is just a society thing, it's like keeping up with the Joneses, just charge it. It's that quote unquote American way.
yeah.
But, here we all are, and we're rewriting our future, and we're rewriting it for our kids by teaching them, responsible money handling. And, like you talk about, like a lot of people go into like money mindset and living in a place of abundance and not denying a soul's desire and whatever. And I get all that. I totally agree with all that. But you can still be responsible with how you save and spend and, eliminate that debt and become financially free. You don't have to just, hop right in and.
I know. I get it. I know. I remember hearing somebody say you can manifest your fortune because somebody's going to come and take away your house because you're sitting there like, oh, it's coming to me. No, you have to make action. That's it.
Yeah. We have a couple quick questions before we sign off. Jada says, I was taught to keep credit card utilization at 30%. So if your credit limit is 1,000, you should only use 300 of that 1,000. Have you heard this? I've never heard
I have heard it. Well, I've heard like you have to keep a certain percentage. I have heard this, but this is my thing. And I think Dave talks about this too. If your goal is to have money saved up and be financially free, what do you care about the credit card? Do you know what I mean? Well, what does it matter? Because at the end of the day, I want to buy that. I want to buy a car. If you have cash to buy it, guess what? Cash talks,
yeah.
I already have a house. I've had my house for 8 years and I have a vehicle. At this point, I don't really care about my credit score. Maybe that's a boo-boo to say. My goal is to pay down my credit cards and pay off my student loans. So right now I'm not thinking about my credit score. Does that make sense? Like to me, it's like that's not important to me. So Jada, I would say if you don't have to use your credit cards, don't use them. Because we always say in our minds, like, I'm gonna pay it off next month. And guess that month never comes up. So if you can save your money instead, pay for it cash, just leave the credits cards alone. That would be my advice.
Perfect. Marcella says, how do we know how much to assign to each category?
To each category for checking and savings or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then Jada says, my husband and I are trying to practice 50-30-20 budget. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what the 50-30, is that 50, what is that, 50-30-20? Is that 20 savings, maybe? Yeah, can we elaborate a little bit on the 50-30-20?
I know like Dave tries to teach about, you put a certain amount into like savings, a certain amount into giving, a certain, maybe it's something along those lines.
Percentage. Yeah. But if you can break it down, yeah. But yeah, I think one of the things he also says about tithing, charity, 10%, 5%. I think people get stuck on numbers.
Yeah.
And when those numbers don't match, they're like, oh, I'm not doing enough. But like tithing, for example, I would say if you could only give $10 or $20, that's fine too until you're able to move up.
Right.
That would be my advice.
So for the categories, she means budgeting.
Budgeting. So for budgeting, you can probably PM me and then we can talk about more. I don't do a percentage. When I get my check, I pay my bills, because that's priority. Then I do my savings check, and then the whatever is remaining, a couple $100, whatever it is. Then I'll see, okay, what credit card. I actually also have my debts in my Excel spreadsheet because I love Excel spreadsheets. And I'll say, okay, and they're in order. I'll say, okay, if I have $300 left remaining, you also have to think about how much money you put in. And it's very detailed. It's like how much, so you have $300 left, but you still haven't gone grocery shopping. You still haven't put money, gas in your truck. So with that money, okay, how much am I going to go to groceries? How much am I going to go to that? Whatever you have remaining, $100, that $100 is going to then go to the first credit card, the first card that is online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And then Jada says, so we'll take this last question. The 50 is like your mortgage, necessities, food, what you need to live off. So I think what she's saying is take 50% of your income and live, you know, try not to make your expenses more than 50%, right?
I think maybe it's just trying to say that. Or yeah, the same thing I'll say to Jada. She can PM me. Yeah, because Dave Ramsey always says the same thing. Try to live less than what you make. Especially if you have debt, try to pay that off. If you don't have any debt, just try, 30 would be financial goals, 20 leisurely money. Sorry, 50% of your monthly income could go towards this category.
Okay. Just kind of pre-planning your
yeah,
income goes to what. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So it's just, you know, and that goes into all the questions, like, you know, going back, how much do you have debt? Because that could be a great formula. But if you have debt and you're putting money into savings, but you still have debt, it's like,
Yeah, no, so that's something great to plan towards. But if your mortgage is already more than 50% of your income, that makes it a little bit hard to squeeze it back down into that.
Yeah, and that's where I say, don't get stuck. People get stuck on the percentage and the numbers, you know. And when it doesn't fit, that's when people are like, oh, I give up, or I'm getting frustrated. And it's like, take out those numbers. Just let's work with this, and then go from there. So that's always my advice.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much. And everybody, feel free, again, like we will post the link here to join Grace's community, as well as, you know, reach out to her if you want to start, you know, getting your financial situation squared away. And she will get you guys going on the right path.
Yes.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.